One day, while walking through the city of Markarth, we get approached by a man named Vigilant Tyrannus.
Excuse me, but do you know anything about this house? Seen anyone enter or leave?
I'm not quite sure. I don't think so. Why do you ask?
I'm with the Vigil of Stendar. We believe this house might have been used for Daedra worship, evil rites and so forth.
Yeah, you don't want that sort of thing here in Markarth. Do you need any help?
I was actually just about to head on inside. Be good to have someone watch my back. Follow me and keep your eyes open. Daedra are powerful creatures and tricksters. Never know what you'll find.
This starts the quest, the House of Horrors. Vigilant Tyrannus walks through a set of double doors into a nearby abandoned house. Curious, we follow him inside.
Fresh food. No wood rot on the furniture. Someone's been here. Recently. But the people I asked say no one enters or leaves.
No one enters or leaves, huh? I don't like the sound of that.
Wait, did you hear that? I think it came this way.
Did something just fly past my face, or am I just seeing things?
That's it. Something's inside the house. Come on, we're getting to the bottom of this.
We'll come back to pick up all the loot that we missed later, but for now, we have to follow Tyrannus deeper into this ghostly abandoned house.
There's another door. See if you can get it open.
Why do I gotta be the one to open it? Alright, step aside. It's locked, Tyrannus. We can't go any further.
Stendar's mercy. This isn't an ordinary Daedra. We have to get help.
What? What are you—
Weak. He's weak. You're strong. Crush him.
You first. Come on. Let's go.
Tyrannus? That voice does not sound friendly. Let's make a run for it. Oh, it's locked! We're trapped in here!
Get out of my head, Daedra.
You will kill. You will kill or you will die.
I don't want to die. I can't die here. The Daedra has us. It's you or me.
Tyrannus draws his mace and attacks.
Yeah!
Yes, your reward is waiting for you, mortal. Further down.
If I'm being honest, creepy, mysterious voice from nowhere, I'd rather just leave without my reward. I killed Tyrannus just like you wanted, so please, just let me go. But begging for our release is futile. The Daedra has us trapped exactly where it wants us, and now the only choice we have is to follow its instructions. As we continue traveling towards the objective marker, though, we might as well have a look around. In this first room we found ourselves in after entering the abandoned house, we find a lot of kitchenware. Pots, tankards, wooden ladles. Perhaps this was the kitchen? Maybe the dining room? In any case, along the northern wall we find an unlocked chest containing some gold and a pair of iron boots, and next to it, an end table with a few more pieces of gold. Along the eastern wall we find a table with some low-level armor and weaponry, and next to it is a second chest with some more loot. That's it for this room, so heading east into a second, smaller room, we find a third chest in the northwest corner containing some gold and a potion of extreme magicka. Continuing onward, we find a few more shelves with some miscellaneous objects, but really nothing of interest. Eventually, we come to that door that Tyrannus told us to open earlier. It was locked at the time, but now it's open.
Yes, further into the bowels.
Oh, that voice is horrifying. The room at the end of the stairs doesn't have anything interesting for us to loot either, so instead we can start to head down a tunnel to the east.
So close, your prize is waiting.
Inside of a small alcove we find a pickaxe and a shovel, both of which were likely left behind by whoever dug this tunnel. But where does it lead? To find out, we can continue traveling north past a collapsed pillar until we come to some kind of shrine, bathing in light from above. As we cautiously approach the shrine, we notice that there's a rusty mace stuck inside of it. This must be the reward that the mysterious voice was talking about. We'll just go ahead and grab it.
Fool! Did you think Molag Bal, the Lord of Domination, would so easily reward you? What do you see from that little cage? Speak.
It's a mace, but it's rusted.
Rusted. Dry. There was a time when this mace dripped with the blood of the feeble and the worthless. But a Daedric lord has his enemies, and my rival Boethia had her priest desecrated, left it here to decay, until you came.
Alright, let me take a moment to address the lore here, because there's a lot going on. This mysterious voice we've been hearing the whole time is the voice of Molag Bal, the god of schemes and the Daedric Prince of domination and enslavement. That would certainly explain why Tyrannus and I got trapped inside of the house, and why we're now trapped inside of a cage. Boethia is the Daedric Prince of deceit, conspiracy, treachery, and sedition, and incidentally, Boethia and Molag Bal are rivals. One of Boethia's worshippers was instructed by Boethia to desecrate this shrine, and now it sounds like Molag Bal wants revenge. I never wanted to help you in the first place, Molag Bal. Let me out of here.
Fine. I offered you a reward. You'll get the freedom your kind enjoys so much. But Boethia's priest is imprisoned as well. But not by me. He is hurt, suffering. Save him. Let him perform his rites one more time. And when he does, I will be waiting for him.
So in exchange for our freedom, Molag Bal wants us to venture out and capture Boethia's priest so that he can get his revenge. It pains me to think about what Molag Bal has in store for this poor fellow, and for me, it does create something of an ethical dilemma. I will address this quest from a moral perspective at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. For now, we can take a look at our map and get the whereabouts of this priest that we're supposed to be kidnapping. I read online that the location of the priest is randomized. So even though in my playthrough I had to travel to Druidoc Redoubt, in your playthrough it might be someplace different. I hadn't discovered Druidoc Redoubt yet in my game, so instead I fast traveled to Dragon Bridge and made the rest of the journey on foot. Nothing really interesting happened between Dragon Bridge and Druidoc Redoubt, though at one point I did encounter an NPC simply titled Aspiring Mage, desperately trying to revive a dead wolf. Curious, I approached him.
This should work. I've done it before. Oh, hello there. I did notice you come up. I was focusing my magicka. Or at least I thought I was. I don't really know what I'm doing.
Yes, it's painfully obvious you don't know what you're doing.
You don't have to tell me that. See, my grandfather was a wizard. My father wouldn't talk about him much. But I found some of his things in the attic, including this staff. After that, I thought I was turning into a wizard, too, because dead things near me would come to life again for a while. I even went to the College of Winterhold. They just laughed at me. The magic is in the staff, not in me, they said.
We are then given a few different dialogue options. We can either persuade the aspiring mage by saying, "Give the staff to me before someone gets hurt." Intimidate the aspiring mage by saying, "Hand over the staff, or else." Or we can try to buy the staff from him for 408 gold. I tried to persuade the aspiring mage in my playthrough, but I was unsuccessful.
Nah, I don't think so.
I tried to go back through the dialogue options, but sadly, they don't show up a second time, meaning that the only way to get the staff now would have been to kill the aspiring mage and loot his body. I decided to be nice and let him live, but I did read online that, depending on the player's skill level, the aspiring mage carries a staff of reanimation, a staff of zombies, a staff of dread zombies, or a staff of revenants. When we finally arrive at Druidoc Redoubt, we are greeted by some hostile Forsworn guarding the entrance. Once the Forsworn are dead, we can head up a dirt pathway to the east and enter Druidoc Redoubt Cave. But this is much more than a cave. This is an entire community. It reminded me a lot of Elder Gleam's Sanctuary, which we explored in our video on the quest titled The Blessings of Nature. If you're interested, you can watch that video here. Straight ahead, we find a Forsworn chopping some wood, her back turned towards us. Slowly creeping up behind her, we can draw our sword and attack.
Hey!
After heading up a ramp, we draw the attention of a second Forsworn, and before long, we find ourselves having to take out the entire community.
Die!
Gods, no!
With all of the Forsworn dead, I wanted to have a look around the cave before heading over to the objective marker. Resting on the edge of a forge, we find 3 silver ingots, and on a nearby shelf we find a potion of minor magicka. On a table to the northeast is another potion, some pieces of gold, a lockpick, a reverent iron dagger, and a Reachman map, which updates our map with the locations of other Forsworn camps. That's all I found of interest inside of Druidoc Redoubt, so now we can head over to the back wall of the cave, where we find the priest inside of a cage, his hands tied behind his back.
You there? Are you here to kill me? Slay the mighty Logrolf, while he sits tied and helpless.
No, not at all. I'm here to rescue you.
Rescue? No one knew where I was when I was taken. Who sent you?
Does it really matter who sent me? Here, take this gold and don't ask any more questions.
Fine, I won't ask questions. Cut me loose.
Alright, let me just untie these binds.
Oh, freedom. Now get out of my way. I have a task to attend to.
Logrolf the Willful runs through the cave and exits out the front entrance to Skyrim. We can meet up with him again after fast traveling back to Markarth and returning to the abandoned house. From here, we can follow him all the way down to the shrine. It is here that Molag Bal traps the priest in his cage, just as he did to us earlier.
Molag Bal, you think you can best Boethia's faithful? I have won this contest before.
Ah, but I have my own champion this time, Logrolf.
What? You?
Mortal, I give you my mace in all its rusted spitefulness. Crush the spirit from Logrolf's bones. Make him bend to me.
Molag Bal equips us with the rusty mace and instructs us to use it to beat Logrolf into submission. I'm sorry, Logrolf. I don't want to do this, but Molag Bal has left me no choice.
I won't bend. Never! Do your worst, monster. Hey! I'll never submit! I'll never submit! I'll never submit!
You mortals and your frail, limp, pathetic bodies. Try it again!
Molag Bal doesn't want Logrolf to die just yet. He wants him to fall into submission. That's why after we unintentionally killed Logrolf the first time around, Molag Bal brought him back to life. But now we have to deliver the pain all over again.
Call that a Hey! Ah! I won't surrender. No more. No more. I submit, Molag Bal. I submit.
You bend to me?
Yes.
You pledge your soul to me?
Yes.
You forsake the weak and pitiful Boethia?
Yes.
You're mine now, Logrolf. Kill him.
We're then forced to strike Logrolf with the mace for a third time. The difference now, though, is that Molag Bal wants us to finish him off.
No.
The The Mace of Molag Bal. I give you its true power, mortal. When your enemies lie broken and bloody before you, know that I will be watching.
A mace? I just killed a man on your behalf. This is hardly a fitting prize.
Know your place, mortal, or Molag Bal may just send another champion to claim his mace from your broken corpse. Now, I have a soul in oblivion to claim. Take care of the house while I'm gone.
This completes the quest, the House of Horrors. The Mace of Molag Bal deals a base damage of 16, plus 25 damage to both stamina and magicka. Additionally, if the target dies within 3 seconds of the initial strike, a soul gem is filled. It's definitely one of the more unique weapons in the game, but the question that we should be asking ourselves is, was it worth the price? I admit I had a tough time completing this quest, especially when we were asked to beat Logrolf into submission and then kill him on Molag Bal's behalf. It felt wrong to me on so many levels, and if I had the choice, I would have gone about completing this quest much differently. I wish Bethesda allowed us to work with Logrolf and escape the clutches of Molag Bal together. Instead, we had to literally team up with evil and kill an innocent man. Then again, how do we know for sure that Logrolf was innocent? Maybe we can take solace in the possibility that Logrolf had a lot of skeletons in his closet, and we simply brought a bad guy to justice. After all, Logrolf was worshipping the Daedric Prince of deceit, conspiracy, treachery, and sedition, so it's not that far-fetched to believe that he committed some questionable acts in the name of Boethia. Of course, there's no evidence to support this idea, and it is just a theory, but for my own sanity, it's one that I'm going to stick to. But I'd love to know what you think, folks. Did you have a tough time beating Logrolf while he was trapped in the cage? Would you have liked an alternative way to end this quest? Perhaps one where you worked against Molag Bal rather than for him? Let me know in the comments below. I post new videos on Skyrim every single Thursday and Friday, folks, so be sure to subscribe to my channel to stay up to date on all of my latest content. If you're an entertainment junkie like I am, then you might like my brand new podcast, Pass the Veal, where we discuss everything from upcoming video games to movies and television shows. I post video versions of the podcast right here on my YouTube channel every Sunday night at 7:00 p.m. Eastern Time, so be sure to check that out as well. But that's all for now, folks. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.